What really could help enormously to grow very successful high-tech companies is mentorship. People who are prepared very often, they might be semi-retired people. People are prepared to actually work with young people, a team of young people, little angel investing, but that mentorship is incredibly important.
Tried a very interesting experiment when we established Alacrity, and I have to say it wasn't my idea. I'd seen it done in the US, but I went out and I contacted 51 senior business people in the UK. Instead of asking them for money, which I think what they suspected I was going to do when I walked in from a foundation, I said, I would like you to donate 1 day per year of your time to the work of the foundation. And so these senior people come down, spend time with the young people, and they do one or two things. They typically either give a lecture or they talk to them, or they sit down with them and help them specifically with their projects. Obviously they vary. Some people are coming with really funky presentations. They might be from an advertising background. You'd kind of expect that. But you'll be surprised how creative some of the guys doing really boring things like auditing have been. And it's a real mixed bag. From the recipient's perspective, obviously we're looking for really brightest and best young people, but they've got to have one attribute, and that's a little bit of humility and an appreciation that they're here to learn. And I think we pick quite well because these young people are like sponges. The good news is with the young people, you don't have to do repairs, right? Because they're a blank canvas. So if you teach them the right principle right up front, they're far more likely to not make a mistake based on the wisdom and experience of someone perhaps who teaches them who may have made that mistake in the past. I was sitting at the back with Ken Segall, who of course is from the Apple days and the ad agency. And my observation to him was, look how old everybody is in the room. And I rather suspect if this was in California, the age group of the audience would probably be half what it is. That said, from the recruitment of mentors, sometimes you want people with a bit of grey hair that have been knocked about a bit in life, who can, show them the pros and cons of any situation.
Well, I think it's hugely important for in any endeavor to have the experienced people and the fresh, young, vibrant, enthusiastic, non-jaded people. But kids come out of school and some of them are just like, I want to do it my way and I don't care about the rules. And sometimes they do something great, but more times than not they probably stumble a bit because there wasn't like an adult in the room to say, love the idea, but you might want to think about that one thing. There's some common mistakes that are made. So I think there's incredible value to have adult supervision, as they say, not getting in people's ways, but just like encouraging and helping as possible, because the young, fresh ideas really are great. But the problem is that different people react in different ways, and there are people who want to be guided, and there's some people who don't want to be guided, and they're experienced people who want to sort of inject themselves into a situation and aren't sensitive to how the younger people feel and that kind of thing. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think the ultimate key to success is some combination of experience and youth. It's like I would say baseball where I come from. Let's call it soccer. But I imagine it's the same. A team has its incredibly experienced people, but they get old at a certain point, and they might be good for a couple of years, but if they're not constantly bringing new blood in, they falter. So I think a lot of the world works that way, and there's always that line between the youth and age, and but there's great value on both sides, and it's finding the right combination.
I think it's there. We just have to focus and do things. I mean, take a look at some young companies recently out of the United States. Facebook started up in Boston. I mean, the company in total from startup is about 8 years old. After only 5 years, they had a $100 billion valuation. I mean, what does that tell you about high tech? The fact of the matter is, from scratch to success can be very quick. With the right team, right mentorship, this is a huge opportunity. And opportunities come up when things are changing. The government itself in Cardiff is going through a huge technology change. Central government in London. If I took you to Canada, United States, France, whether it's governments, whether it's small or large business, the technology changes are dramatic. It's when this changes that the opportunities are most, and you have to grab it. Now, right now, massive changes underway. We have very, very well-educated people here. We have innovative people. It's the cycle to commercialization, and a little mentorship can really make it work.
I think there is a great opportunity for this event going forwards to do that blend, which would be kind of unique, because you often go to an event, say in London, and there's lots of young people hanging around. I'm not sure they're building companies. I think often they're building features, if that makes sense, and they're going to struggle to turn that into a company. Likewise, sometimes you go to an event and it's just old people in suits. Get them together, but with an attitude of the old, that they're there to help the young, and I think it could spark up some really interesting things.